Welcome to SF Virtual Headbangers Happy Hour. Cheers. Cheers to all my guests.
Cheers, cheers.
We have the guys from Rusty Chains, and they will be talking about the Cornell tribute, the benefit for San Francisco suicide prevention. So I'm going to ask Tony to kick things off for us and introduce himself and the band, and maybe talk about Rusty Chains and then how you came up with the Chris Cornell benefit that started 4 years ago, since this year was the 4th annual benefit. So, Tony, I'll let you kick it off.
Thanks, March. Well, as we all know, losing Chris Cornell was big for a lot of us, especially our generation. He was a monstrous influence to me, and a couple months after he passed, we decided that we wanted to do a benefit for SF suicide prevention, and over the years, it's turned into quite the event, and keeps getting bigger and bigger each year. The goal is to help those in need. Mental health is a huge issue, especially during the pandemic. So this year, even though we couldn't play any live shows, we really wanted to make a big effort to put together a show that did Chris justice, as well as brought as much attention as we could to the issues around suicide and mental health issues. Couldn't have been a better show, in my opinion. I was so happy with how it turned out and how it was delivered, and we've raised $6,000 so far of our $10,000 goal. And we've got a few more weeks of the campaign, and we've got some more stuff coming down that we're gonna try to get people to donate some more, and we're gonna have some more smaller events. Really something that was born out of tragedy. We're just trying to help as many people as possible, so you don't put yourself in that dark place and think you're alone.
Right. Yeah, I've been to a couple of the benefit shows live. I think the last one was in San Francisco, but like you said, this one was virtual, and I think you and Thomas were telling me that it was quite a production, and it took, what was it, upwards of 5 to 6 months to actually finish from start to finish?
Yeah. Thomas, what would you say, 7 months?
7 months, almost on the dot, 7 months to get everything rounded.
7 months from incarnation to fruition. Getting the songs recorded. Thank you, Snake and Thomas, and mixed, and my wife heading up all the post-production with the editing and the videos, and wrangling all the musicians, all those greased cats, wrangling everybody and pulling everybody together. And man, everyone just saluted like crazy, and every single person donated their time. There wasn't anyone who ever asked for anything. So, to put something like this together over 7 months and have it be $0 out of pocket is astounding. So, man, thank you guys. So awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It is. So, tell me who picks the songs, or how? I mean, this is your 4th one, so this is your first rodeo, so to speak. I mean, what's the process? Is there any pattern or something that you follow, or Rochambeau, or?
It's kind of, every year is treated a little bit differently. We kind of settle in at the start of the year and get in a room. It starts with us just getting in the room to jam. And, obviously there's the core songs, the songs that people expect to hear when you play, or when, you're talking about Soundgarden and everything, or Chris Cornell in general. And so there's those that you kind of have to always have. But then for us, it's, the greatest part about it is we're all huge fans. And so we just get in the room and geek out and go, man, I want to play this song. I want to play this song. I haven't done this song. And we just throw in all these names of songs and
an entire album.
Or an entire album. Last year we did all of Bad Motorfinger. It could be as simple, not simple at all, as picking just an album to play.
Oh
but it's there's kind of no real rhyme or reason to how we pick the songs. It's just whatever makes us all happy. And we know that, you know, the fandom that we have for Chris is very much expressed in the people that are going to come watch the show as well. So they'll appreciate what songs we pick in that regard.
This year was a little more Temple the Dog. You know, we were thinking of doing Temple live front to back like we did Bad Motorfinger last year, and then once we had to cancel the live show, it just kind of morphed into Chris's career and focusing on Temple the Dog, but really spanning a bunch of different things. So, you know, Thomas, you know, he's always trying to get me to do songs that I don't want to do. He's always like, hey, let's do this. And it's like when Chris is like 22 and like singing like only birds and cats can hear, you know, like, yeah, just don't worry, Tony. You just have to sing up here.
Right.
No, it's all good,
so,
man. It's all good.
Okay. So I'll just read off for the viewers that have not seen this. I'm just going to kind of list off the songs that you guys played and let me know if I missed anything. So, day one, Let Me Drown, My Wave, Outshined, Mind Riot by Crooked Step, I Am the Highway, River of Deceit. Even though that's not a Soundgarden song, that was fantastic version. Let's see what else. Thank You, Zeppelin tune, dedicated to Greg Narducci. That was pretty amazing and very emotional. Really enjoyed that. Call Me a Dog, Pushing Forward, 4th of July, Hunger Strike, Black Hole Sun, Rusty Cage, Gasoline, Spoon Man, Mailman, Chloe Dancer, Crown of Thorns.
Yeah, Chloe. Times of Trouble, Seasons, Nothing. Now it was running over, so I think I'm missing the last two songs, but yeah, it was quite a range. And so tell me, which one was the most challenging for you, the ones that you sang on, that was pushing outside the comfort zone? I think maybe I know and Say Hello to Heaven. You know, Chris can hit some stuff sometimes, so he's a challenging guy to try to emulate and to follow. He's the over the years, I think he's the reason why I've been able to push myself to sing those notes. But you know, I think for me the challenge wasn't the high notes. It was not like choking up and crying half the time. I was so emotional through a lot of this stuff. It made it so visceral and difficult when we were recording this stuff and playing it. You know, it just was so heartfelt. And when you add Marta's piano and strings and like all of the amazingness, you know, it's like, holy shit, it just brought some of these songs that I've heard 10,000 times to a new level. So me, the challenge wasn't like what was the hardest. It was like, which song was the not to cry to while you're singing. Marta, holy shit, that was awesome. And
it's such an emotional song.
It's so good.
Oh God, thank you.
Actually, this is a good segue. So how did so Marta was on, I think you played on two? Was it 2 or 3 of the songs?
Three songs.
3.
Right. So how did Marta get involved? Did you invite her? Were you guys talking about it last year? Like next year we're going to have Marta, or how did that come about?
Well, there was a little bit of a conversation. A couple times we'd run into the Phil and Marta out at some shows somewhere, and I'd talked to Phil a couple times about participating in one of the events, and it just so happened that you know, with the virtual thing, I'd reached out again, and I highly suggested that we get both, because I knew Marta's piano skills and her vocals were just astounding. I'm a big fan, of course. Let me geek out again. But getting both of them and having the real Rockstar Demmel involved, I'm just gonna. So it was really the virtual thing ended up just being a really great blossoming point for having as many people and many different spaces as involved as possible. And Marta, if you want to chime in as well.
Sure. I think Thomas texted me probably, at least like 7 months ago, a long time ago. And it was just sort of like an idea for a while. I'd play through the songs, but there was no time frame for quite a while until it was like, and I'm a procrastinator. I won't record until it's like, oh, you need it in 2 days? Okay. But I've been playing it. It was just I had the lyrics and the chords on the piano, so I would just, sit down at the piano and just work out kind of what version I wanted to do, like know the song, so that you could plunk in a couple melody notes that were crucial, or, find out what kind of vibe I wanted to put on it, since it's not like they're just piano pieces that I played on. So, but then, thank you. They were hard. Call Me a Dog was hard.
Oh, it's turned out so good though.
Like, recorded myself for the first time. Phil said he just got here, but he set me up, and I just would hit the space bar and try to record myself and fuck up and start over because you get 4 minutes in and then you fuck up. And there's like you can't splice Call Me a Dog together. You got to just play it perfectly. And so that was a challenge. That was really a challenge to just not mess up.
It was awesome.
It was really cool. It was a really good experience, like learning to record myself and a challenge, like I said, to just not be able to punch in and make something, perfect together. But so it was really cool and really emotional. I'd sit down and I'd sing along just when I was by myself, like learning it, play it, be singing it, so I knew where it was. And it was definitely emotional. Those are emotional songs.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure. It turned out great. It made it so special for us to be able to not be in the same room, but still have the emotional impact. That's what I loved about the tunes that you were on, is like, it gave such a nice different flavor to everything, but yet still came across like, I'm here, motherfucker. Like, I'm here, and it felt like we were in the same room at times. So, that was pretty awesome, because you never really know how it's going to turn out. And then it's just like, here you go. And you're like, ooh, man, okay, I'm not crying. You're crying.
So did you guys send Marta the tracks? Is that how,
I had picked versions of the songs that I thought were kind of loosely based around the space what we were trying to go with them. But ultimately, I just wanted each musician to have their own stamp on it and not really give too much direction, and just let them feel the song the way that they feel it. And that was a very important aspect for it. And Call Me a Dog, there's no version like the version we did. And so, Marta just taking it and running with it was really fantastic, really special.
Thank you. That was another sort of first for me, to be like, not just the scratch track, but the initial kind of and only track.
The track.
Yeah, I'm more used to like playing to something or having something to play to. And that was definitely a first time experience of just, I tried doing it without a click, and then I felt like I was going faster, slower. And so I just playing to a click.
Cool.
Okay. I was wondering because it was so good, and it didn't feel like it was just like, oh, they want me to do this. It was just so personal, like all of them. It was just so moving. On the playback, of course, we have the luxury of like pausing it. So I've watched it so many times since the live show, the broadcast last week. Just phenomenal. Just so perfect. Let's see, who Oh, so Phil. Hey, Phil.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How
What's
are you?
up, Phil?
What's happening, Adam?
Good to see you, buddy.
How's
You
it going?
too.
Good to see you, man.
Good to be here.
So, yeah, since Phil's here, we'll have Phil go, and so then they could both cut up together.
There's a
when they're done.
40-year-old in the next room who could barge in any minute. So I'm on wolf duty right now. She's the star of the day.
yeah.
So.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Wolf duty. Awesome. So Phil, how'd you feel about how it turned out?
I was stoked with watching. I didn't watch the whole thing. We skipped through some parts. I hadn't seen what Marta had done yet, so I went through to catch everything that she had done. But then we stopped on some songs that we really liked, and these aren't easy songs, man. They're not. It's not TNT. It's not Highway to Hell. These are very difficult songs by some brilliant songwriters and weird time signatures, and I was really impressed with everybody on the main tracks. Tony fucking killed it. Thomas fucking killed it. Everybody did so well, and you felt the emotion, and a lot of it, Marta had with hers, but I saw it with Tony, and it was just a really cool tribute, and the musicianship was just off the chain. It was just incredible to watch everybody do their thing in this different environment that we're in. I got asked to do this super jammy solo song that's like 5 minutes long, and it's off a song that I was unfamiliar with. I'd never heard before, and I gave it a couple of passes just to get kind of familiar with what the other guitar player was doing, so I could vibe off of him. And then I just hit record and hit the camera and just vibed and just kind of fell in with the other dudes and kind of bounced off of them. Tom had come back to me later and said, "We can't really see your face, and we want to get another. Can you do another pass?" It's like there's no fucking way that I can do it close to what I did. It's just in the moment and feeling it. So. Yeah, it was cool to be part of this. Thanks for asking me to be, to do what I did.
Thanks for being involved, guys.
Thank you. I didn't say that yet, but thank you as well.
Absolutely. We were very appreciative to have you guys. And Phil, I think we claimed you at the largest guitar solo you've ever done in your career, right?
Yeah, not
19-minute guitar solo.
Maybe most notes per second, but definitely the longest in time duration for sure. But it was fun. It was a cool. I'm a metal guitar player. I've been playing metal style for a while, but doing the BPMD record last year and having to play these blues solos by Joe Perry and Ted Nugent and Billy Gibbons and all these other guys, I've kind of gotten away from the Floyd Rose and into the fixed bridge, and this was one of those solos where I was able to kind of step out of my box and do a little, play some blues, and so it was
very cool.
Yeah. That's cool.
Awesome.
And for those who are wondering, I believe that version that you played was 12, came in around 12 minutes.
Oh my God.
Sound about
Just
right?
shy. Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So I made a list of what you were saying. So I have the timestamps of when everyone played. So I'll give them to you guys in case you were trying to queue up to a certain song. But yeah, it was fantastic. It was amazing. And I was wondering,
it was fun. I was going through it, and I'm watching the Pro Tools rig right here in front of me, and I'm watching, and I'm still going. There's a break. All right, vocal break, and then back into it. Still got another couple minutes to go, man.
That song was like the nemesis of our editing moment.
Oh my God.
Ron would be like, "Come upstairs. You have to help me with the," and I'd be like, "No, not that song again."
The low vocal in the choruses. There's a super reach down. Who's doing that?
I did that one.
Who's I can't.
Tony.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it's great, man. It was killer. Really good.
Well, Snake had a lot of good ideas. That we did a couple outside the box ideas with some low vocals that weren't necessarily on temple songs like that, but there was just some cool moments that we had in the studio where we were like, "Hey, this would be cool. Let's do this. Let's have some fun with it." So we didn't want to just be like stamped. Okay, we sound like Chris. We sound like Temple. there's some fun stuff that we did too that we had a good time with. But man, really, it's his mixing prowess that made all that shit sound amazing. I mean, sometimes we would put headphones on and be like, "Holy shit, there's like 6 tracks, you know, 6-part harmony here," and so we would just sit there and dissect it and get all the parts, you know. So, you know, it was still super fun to have a new, fresh, approach to songs that I've heard for decades, you know, where I'm like, oh yeah, I got that. Oh yeah, I'll be able to. And then we get in the studio. It's like, oh shit. Pretty fun.
Sounds great, man.
Yeah. Well done, Snaffle.
Thank you.
Yeah, amazing job. So, Nate, do you want to talk about your experience and huge undertaking on your part, and you did a fabulous job. So.
Yeah, you know, I've been wanting to record these guys for a while, just kind of like a 5 or 6 song demo, and for this like 26 song mammoth like undertaking, I was just like, wow, careful what you ask for, you know. But yeah, I knew it was going to be a lot, but I was really familiar with the songs just from back listening to them so much in the 90s. And so it wasn't like a band come and say, hey, I got 26 songs to record. These are like songs I put a lot of headspace and to passion into as far as a listener back in the day. And I could really connect with them. So it was really easy in that aspect as far as knowing the song so good that it was just cool to like hear it played by a really good band that could play them really good and almost, and you know, at times really made me feel like I was listening to Soundgarden and give me the same feeling that the Soundgarden stuff was giving me. And so once I got a couple of songs dialed in to where I was like, okay, this represents the band, right? I kind of just applied all the same mixing techniques to the rest of the songs, and it went smooth, like really smooth as far as like making all the songs sound cohesive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Nice, dude.
So Thomas was kind of semi-joking, but probably not, talking about Reach Down as being maybe a difficult song kind of to put together. Was that your most challenging moment, or was there something else that was kind of difficult? Or
what song did you say?
I think we were talking about what we were just talking about, Reach Down being a long song, and maybe it was a little bit hard to get it. Which one was most challenging for you, or are you most proud of, I guess?
You know, Spoon Man was kind of the most difficult, and it's mostly that breakdown in the middle with all the percussions going on by Jay.
Oh my God. Jay Palooza.
And just figuring out what was the right one to be a little bit louder than the other one, you know? And just to carry that groove going, you know, there's got to be something that's a little bit louder than all the rest to make it, you know, you make your booty shake.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. And the video of that was killer with all the like thumbnails of all the pieces. So that was really good.
Yeah, that was brilliant. So that one was kind of the hardest one, I think.
Okay. It turned out great. It was just so exciting. I know I was watching the live broadcast. Everyone was just so excited. Like, there's more. And I just didn't know. So, like, there were no bounds. It was just, like, getting bigger and bigger. But it worked. It didn't feel gratuitous to me. It, like, totally worked. Like, everything that he did, it was just really great. It was just my maybe best version of Spoon Man I've ever heard. It was incredible. So, great job.
Thank you. And Chloe Dancer was kind of hard, too. Just because.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
It was when they first were talking about the benefit, I knew that they had played Chloe Dancer and that Adam had played keyboards on it before, and so I was like, "Hey, you guys gonna be playing that?" And I knew Steev Esquivel was a big Mother Love Bone fan, and so I was like, "Man, I wonder if they'd let me ask Steev." So I kind of reached out to Thomas. I was like, "Hey, what do you think about Steev being on this song?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, dude. I was just talking to Steev about Mother Love Bone, how much he loves them and everything. I think that'd be great." And I was like, "Well, it's not going to sound anything like the version that we know." And we're both just like, "Man, it's going to be cool. We already can hear it, you know, in our heads." Mm-hmm. And so I asked Steev, and right away he was like, "Hell yeah!" And then as soon as he started sending me just some pre-production from his home, I was like, oh shit, here it comes. And yeah, I think he really captured something special with that song that
cool.
that hadn't been caught, yet. And yeah, nothing bad about Andy's version at all. It's just someone else's version, but their take on it. But that voice is just kind of haunting, and
it's so great.
It gives me the chills.
Yeah, exactly. I because I know Adam was talking about some songs, and then all of a sudden they popped on with Steev singing "Toy Dancer." I just kind of stopped in my tracks, and it was, goosebumps. I was just like really moved. It was really moving. Adam,
I love that fucking song. I played it the second year, but that's one of my favorite songs. Mother Love Bone or any of that kind of stuff is done. But for Steev to play on that was super fucking cool. That's the first time me and Steev have been on something for 25 years. I haven't been in the studio or I haven't been on a record with Steev for 25 years. And I didn't know he was playing until fucking that day. And he did a really good, I know that song inside and out. And he didn't, it's totally not the version, but he did his own version. And it was super cool. It wasn't weak at all. There's a couple lines in there, like the French Quarter and those, which are hard to hit. So if you don't hit them right, it's gonna sound funky. And he hit them just his own way, and it was just it was super cool. But I haven't hung out with Steev either for fucking that long. And he came by the studio the other night, hung out with me for a few hours. We went to the Rainbow, ate dinner together. So that little thing turned into something cool for me, and I'm thankful to Snake for that. It was cool shit.
Awesome. That is awesome, dude.
Totally.
Man, that's getting me in my heartstrings.
Yeah.
I know.
I won't cry. I mean, it was super cool. I don't know if Snake did that on purpose, but I really appreciate that, and I love that song.
Cool, brother. I'm glad that happened.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around these days. Some good healing vibes with some musician friends. I've seen it, and man, it just makes me feel great to be a part of it.
Yeah,
totally.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. It's Craig.
What's up, Craig?
Craigers.
What's up, Craig?
Yeah.
I watched that entire 2 nights, like from front to back, with my family sitting behind me right here, just watching in my room, and I got to say, I thought it was going to be good. I was like, you guys should be good. Our performance is cool. And then I was like, fuck, every fucking performance was cool. Like, everything was great. And, getting back to like Snake, like, dude, what an undertaking you took, man. Like, what a gigantic, monumental undertaking you took by putting all that stuff together and making it all sound, everyone did their own thing, but I think you did a really good job of keeping the integrity of the Soundgarden vibes or whatever, Mad Season be it, or, anything that, any of it. And the reimagining of Steev and what you did, Adam, and just all that stuff. And then the industrial version of Mine Riot that I was totally skeptical over the idea. I was like, why would you do that to that song? It's so perfect. It's like one of my favorite Soundgarden songs as it sits. Yeah. So I was like everybody, like everybody. I came into that thing blown away. And of course we were very last because that's the last song Soundgarden plays. So I would have had to sit through it no matter what, and I enjoyed every second.
Oh, good to hear, man.
I really enjoyed it, dude. I'm so proud of all you guys.
Thank you, man.
Cheers,
so much, man.
But the cause, the cause becomes the most, like any of these things where you, and I know from experience, you dedicate a lot of time to trying to help and hopefully make a dent, and but you made a dent in a lot of people's hearts more than anything. I think that kind of is what is significant about it. It's going to stick. When you guys do play live next year, it'll probably be really fucking off the chain, like more than ever, because everyone's going to be so excited to come back and see a show again. And then, that thing on, that's going to live forever on YouTube.
Yep.
I could not be happier with just being a little tiny piece of that. It was really
cheers,
cool.
brother.
To all of you.
Hey,
cheers, you guys.
Dude,
Adam.
Phil was saying earlier how it was hard for him to try to redo his take he did. There was like no way he could do the video again. I'm horrible with this shit. I go to my studio in LA. My engineer does the shit. I tape everything. It's all fucking cool. And I send it to Tony and Thomas, and I look down, and I'm wearing a fucking Suicidal Tendencies jersey. And I was like,
well, I think you get a pass there. You know, I think you get a pass.
Oh my
there.
God, I couldn't believe it.
I had to retract all my shit at home, and it was hard for me to do. But I did it good one time. I just had the wrong shirt on.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
It's really funny.
I had a nightmare.
That's classic.
So
Classic.
I had the same problem as Phil had because I had a nightmare just trying to get, like, my phone was all packed full of. I couldn't get another video, like a secondary video, and we recorded at least 2. You did Snake, and then I recorded at least 2 or 3, and then I was trying to get it to, Tony's wife to. It just was a nightmare. 45 minutes of downloading. She's all, yeah, it didn't go through. I'm like, oh fuck. You're gonna have to use that. That's what.
Yeah, it turned out all right, dude. It turned out.
Well, yeah,
good.
you guys creative editing, chaos solo. Like is just.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, fix it.
Her editing was the coolest thing I've seen done. It's the pandemic shit, like just not the boxes of people. It was cool how there was stuff intermixed, and he did a badass job. I was super impressed with the video shit. I mean,
so good.
Yeah. That was.
I gotta say, from my side, same deal.
Her and Snake are the true heroes. Her and Snake are the best behind the scenes on the work front. I know Thomas has fucking hundreds of hours and everyone, but like Rana probably has 1,000 hours of editing into this thing over the 7 months. She enlisted friends, and her boss let her like put stuff on the servers at work and let people at work on his dime work on it. And, it's just so much love, man. I'm just so appreciative of the people doing the production aspect of this because, without you guys, man, it just would have just absolutely 100% not happened. So she's busy doing another thing because I told her to come and say hello, but she's doing another little work Zoom thing. But yeah, I will share that love with her for sure.
Okay, I see Steve over there. Hey, Steve,
great job.
Steve great job on that song.
What up,
we
Steve?
were just talking about how you reimagined that whole thing and
Where's he
completely
at?
ended, dude. It's awesome.
Where's Steve? I don't see
All the
Steve.
way at the end.
We got
Swipe right.
Steve.
Swipe
I see
right.
him.
Right.
Oh, I see.
Swipe right.
Swipe
For the Fuji.
It's timber.
Swipe right.
Just stepped and listening to you guys.
Yeah, I was
Steve, you
lawyering
killed
out
it,
for a
dude.
while.
Killed it.
Yeah, man.
When Snake and Thomas hit me up and said we want Steve to do Chloe, I mean, honestly, I was initially just a little scared. I was like, oh my God, he's got this low metal voice. Like, how the hell is that going to translate? And I was like, holy shit. I was a little nervous. I already recorded the whole thing, and I was like, we got my version, but that's just really the Mother Love Bone version. And then I was like, fuck it, let's do this. This would be cool. Let's check it out. And dude, I got goosebumps right now, even fucking talking about it. Like, it was so cool and so spooky and just, heartfelt, and man, and that shit at the end was just mind-blowing. Like, I was just completely sold, and I just want to give you straight up from one singer to another, dude, fucking kudos, dude. I was so stoked and blown away. So thank you, bro.
Absolutely.
Me too, and I'm not a singer.
Can't see who's talking.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was Tony.
That was Tony.
Yeah, that was Tony. I wanted to say I really appreciated it.
Yeah,
It
believe
was, from someone who has mental health issues, and the pandemic has not been kind to me. And especially with this cause, because there are a lot of people that are worse off than me that might not have their meds because they lost their job or whatever reason.
Sure.
And this is really amazing. And each of you guys' contribution, every song, hearing that rendition reminded me and gave me the feeling that I felt the first time I heard the original.
Whoa.
And I know that you guys are all music lovers. I know you know that feeling. You can't really describe it. It's just that wave that comes over you.
That's you,
man. Thank you, dude. That is awesome.
Thank you so much.
Tony, you guys killed that shit. All those songs, man. It's just obviously you have Seattle for you to be able to do that, but man, blown away by everyone's performances.
Yeah.
Cheers.
It literally exceeded all expectations I think anyone had. You know, I don't know about yours. Maybe you're not your guys's, but everyone else is like, "Whoa, that was better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be good." So there you go.
The thing for me is I dream big, man, and and I know the pool of musicians we have in this area are just. I mean, you guys are the fucking world's best. I mean, San Francisco literally has the world's best musicians, and no one is going to argue that for me. So the pool of musicians.
Settle down, Thomas. Settle down.
You're never going to settle down on that one, brother. Man, just the talent that we had available to us to be able to pull this off, and I'm talking about everybody that came through. I mean, from production, all of it, everybody's talent that they brought to this thing was just unbelievably top notch. I couldn't have even imagined it being as good as it was. And like I said, I set my bar really high for this thing. So
hey, Matt though, and Matt and Randy kill it every time.
Matt
does a lot of fucking shit. Kind of just slides under, and it's like, oh, dude, that was him. But Matt's badass, and Randy does a killer job. So those guys,
Randy is I've known Matt's always been badass, but it gave me a whole new respect for Randy because he. Anyone who really follows Matt Cameron knows that he's not really playing anything straight. There's just like one thing straight. Right. Kind of makes you kind of like Thomas from Meshuggah, in his own way. Like, he's just like, okay, well, there's one thing I can follow, but the rest of this is just all. And he's doing that. And he owned all that stuff. He really fucking killed it, man.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody. Oh, there you go. Everyone did good. There you go. Oh, by the way, but Mark, my drummer who played with us, Mark Hernandez, on our Slaves and Bulldozers, I told him I was going to lay guitars on that. He's, oh man, I really didn't do a good job with that. And I was like, I heard it the first time, like, what are you talking about, dude? Like, you did killer. I didn't have one problem following anything.
Fucking sounded great.
Yeah, oh, dude, he was like so upset that he just that one in Hunger Strike. He was like, dude, I wasn't prepared. It sounds like shit. I'm like. What? If this is you sounding like shit, dude, I'm sorry. You bring the shit then, brother.
I maybe Phil can attest to this too. But Mark is that guy. Like he listens to something and he knows it, but if he doesn't do the extra homework, he'll beat himself up. But he's always good enough to get away with it, and then some. He's definitely good enough to like. He kind of comes in there like on the seat of his ass. And then,
he's like, yeah, he's good enough. My God, he's awesome. Fucking Mark rules, dude.
I can vouch for this. Yes, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I want to say to Adam, real quick, I want to say to Adam, Adam is the guy on this group and on this call and on all the benefits who has been on every single one and multiple songs. He's the only cat. So it was like one of those crazy things where he also did another benefit for the Napa fires that we did at Bottom of the Hill when now that went down for the first round of fires. And, the whole Chloe, intro thing has just always been just a rad moment. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of kudos, brother. And thanks for being involved every year.
Yeah, brother. Thank you.
It's rad. I didn't know that one was for the fires. I thought that was Chris Cornell 2 or 3 2.
No, dude, that was strictly we did Alice in Chains Dirt front to back.
Now
and then we did it. And then we did the extra songs. So we did
what's
Dirt
cool too. Dude, over the 4 years we lost a lot of money for San Francisco mental health shit, and that didn't dawn on me till this year. And I remember the first year I was leaving my hotel going to Slim's, and there's like all these cops in the Tenderloin. Some dude had jumped off the fucking parking structure and killed himself. And it was like on the way to this benefit. That. I saw it, and I was like, dude, fucking. So I'm so glad we raised money for that shit. It's important and it's cool.
Yep, exactly.
Was that
for all of us?
Was that the year before I did it with you guys? Adam? Was that the year? That was the year before that I did it at Slim's, or was that the
year? You were at
first.
Slim's.
So that was the first one or the second one?
That was
that was 4 years. Was that 4 years ago?
Yeah.
Fuck this pandemic.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
God damn it, the years are flying by.
God damn it is right.
Fuck the pandemic, but you know what? The pain and suffering, the emotion that all the musicians around the world are going to be contributing, it's going to be some of their best stuff ever. It's going to be their opus. You know,
I've definitely been on a writing tear because of all this.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of.
I think all of us are feeling that emotional connection, with,
or lack
also
of
not being able to play live much. We haven't been able to get out there and get with our friends, but yeah, it sure puts me in a different space. Like I feel like I could write 30 songs in a row right now if I had the outlet, and the Cornell benefit was our pandemic, outlet. It was also healthy for us because we were going fucking crazy, not being able to get in the studio and play and do music, and to have this thing happen that we could put our creative energy in was, in a lot of ways for us, a lifesaver, really, because, as musicians, we're sensitive people. I've got my dark passenger, man. It fucking bugs me sometimes. And during this stuff, it was heavy, so, that helped me a lot too.
Yeah. Well, I don't think anybody, we talked about this March, I think last time I was with you, and we were talking to Bob and all those guys and Jimmy. But yeah, everyone gets hit hard. I think musicians just get hit really, really hard from a different side of it. And they're taking our livelihood away. And
agreed.
They're not really concerned. It's the last bastion. They don't really care.
We're the last ass end of the fucking concern wagon. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. You know what? And I got plans for Europe. We already got multiple festival dates and whatnot that we haven't even announced. And is that really going to happen? I don't know. I know that if I want to get on that plane, yeah. But if you, no matter what, it's just a different world. You can't. No matter what you believe, it's just a different world than it was the day before all this shit happened. And there's criteria and there's things that are going to happen that.
Well, next year I'd like to do a live show, but also do a virtual moment because we raise so much more money. So we want to do like a combination of things. But I really, 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 want to see you cats involved next year. All you guys, it's becoming a staple of closeness and friendship that, it's unsurpassed. So I everyone who's on right now, man, you guys are invited. I would love to be in a room with you guys again and look each other in the eye across the stage. Damn, that's great.
Yeah, it's something that I keep saying every year, the continued level of community that comes from doing this kind of thing, not just from the musician standpoint, but also from the charity aspect. You guys, we're really doing something special here to bring our community, our musical community, and just our family in the Bay Area together a little more every year. And I can never just say thank you enough to everybody who makes that possible and helps us make it bigger every year.
Yeah, it's a cool cause.
Great job. And like you said, with this one being available on demand, I mean, you'll have a bigger reach and you will make more money than a live show. So if we could do a hybrid kind of model, if you're playing, that would be. That's
fabulous. The idea.
Yeah. I wanted to. I think Steve's still on, right? Steve?
Yep. I'm here. Yeah.
Hey, we were talking about you before you got on, so let's talk to you a little bit.
Talking hella shit.
Nice shit.
Adam.
You made grown men cry. That's what we were talking about. Very emotional. It was just watching you. I mean, I didn't expect you to do that song because, as you know, someone just covered it recently, and then just like a month ago, and then seeing you do it, oh my gosh, I almost cried. It was just like in the camera, so close on your face, and it just
such good
putting it out there. It's very vulnerable. It was just amazing. It just a highlight for me. One of the highlights. I mean, there's so many highlights, but that one for sure. How'd you feel when you were doing it?
Thanks, guys, for asking me to be involved. I'm very, very stoked. I've been a Mother Love Bone fan forever. Yeah, I love Mother Love Bone, and so to be able to do that song was actually pretty cool. Definitely wanted to take on it, than what I'm doing. Trying to use a little bit of it, but yeah, it was pretty emotional, dude. I did it in the vocals down here, the producer, Forward Wild, and he really pushed me to do something that I'm really known for. But I guess in some parts of Skin Lab, I do use my baritone voice and everything. But no, it was definitely a pretty emotional song to do. And I was scared. I heard somebody say they were scared, or Mark was scared about his drumming or whatever, which by all means, he had no reason to be more intimidated. But yeah, I was kind of scared. What I was going to think, or what anyone, what Thomas and everyone were going to think of it. Very glad to be in.
Yeah, you definitely hung it all out there, brother. You hung it all out there. So you living down in LA now, or San Diego area, something like that?
San Diego.
So does Ulrich have a studio that you go to in that area, or do you go up to LA?
Ulrich has a studio in Hollywood, which now I live about 45 minutes from. So yeah, he did it for the benefit.
Yeah.
Let's keep it benefity. So
you're right.
Donated his time as well, and he's a great dude, and always brings up sure.
Yeah, he did a great job with that Skin Lab album. You got
awesome
between you guys, Snake and him, and again Snake too.
Well,
labor of love.
Snake's talent really on that album. I know we're talking about this, but for sure, and on this, hopefully it doesn't. I mean, Snake, I seen him in there, scrolling in there earlier, but amazing job, brother. I mean, great on this whole thing.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, awesome. Be the Bobby Rock here in no time, brother.
C Rock, Bobby.
Need more projects.
Thomas, I know we have a ton of special guests on here, but let's talk about some of the guests that weren't here. You had guy from Tesla, Dave, Maddox. Do you want to talk about some of the other guests?
I mean, yeah, there was
Rude. Yeah.
Mr. Rude. Tony and Dave go back quite a long time with the Servants and everything, and so their friendship was really kind of the catalyst for his involvement. And he came out and jammed with us on year 2. It was year 2, right, Tony?
Tony. I think Tony went to the loo.
That's fine. I can't see him. I don't know. Either way, we had Dave come and jam with us on one of the previous Cornell shows, and his and my friendship stayed pretty strong since then, and we've gone back and forth. And man, he was like more than happy to be involved in this one. And the really fun thing was because we had the list of songs early on, I just started throwing songs out and saying, "Here, guys, pick songs and have fun with them." And yeah, he picked. I knew he would want to pick Outshine because we had jammed that previously, but he wanted 4th of July as well, which was, man, that came out pretty sweet.
It did, dude. It did. And I love that song.
You jammed that with us, didn't you, Craig?
Yeah, my favorites too, man.
Yeah, it's always that's one of my heaviest riffs of all time. And all the Soundgarden riffs, there's about 40 of them that are the heaviest of all time.
Yeah, right.
that's one of them.
Only 40.
Only 40.
Slaves and Bulldozers is up there with that.
Yeah. And other guests too, like the Corey McCormick was a really special one because Corey, for those who don't know, I mean, for one, right now he's playing with Neil Young and Willie Nelson and Lucas Nelson. So first of all, the guy's got some serious freaking music cred. But then, of course, the dude played with Chris Cornell for 6 years. The guy was his touring bass player for 6 years. And so one of my close friends, Lori, I think she's on this call as well. She had suggested, hey, Lori, she had suggested reaching out to Corey, and I just did so on a whim on like Instagram or something, and just shot him a message about the benefit and everything. The dude hit me back in 10 minutes with a, "I'm in. Just count me in. Whatever song you want me on, I'm in." I'm just
I'm
like,
so glad you did that, Thomas. I'm so glad you did that because he is so cool. He is so down to earth. I mean, you know it.
I mean, we've all fallen in love with the guy. He's turned out to be one of the biggest sweethearts involved in the thing. It was really, really special to have someone with that close a connection to Chris be a part of the show. And
that's Rana's crush.
That's
Rana's Cornell crush of this whole thing. Rana's like, every time she's like, "Oh my God, Corey's so cute. I love Corey." I'm like, all right.
He rocked those spectacles, man. Those glasses were great. Like
he's
got to
so
be a
awesome.
certain kind of guy to pull that look off, man. You got to be like legit.
What's cool about him is he is so like down to earth. He'll just chill and hang out with you, and like it doesn't even matter all the things that he's done or who he's been with or whatever. He's just down to know you. You know,
it shouldn't matter ever.
Yeah, no, it shouldn't.
There's no ego trip whatsoever with that guy. It's beautiful.
Zero.
And actually, I do have to say as well, I did reach out to him about participating in this, and today's his wife's birthday, so they were doing a very special birthday celebration tonight. But he did say to tell everybody he loves you all and thank you so much for being involved. So,
that's nice.
If it just doesn't keep adding to how cool that guy is, I don't know what does.
That's very cool. And looking at my list of the other guests, and it was fun. You know what was another really fun part of that broadcast? All the chatting and stuff. You were in the chat rooms, right? Everyone's like commenting, like, "Who's that guy? I love him!" Like, you know, it was just hilarious. It was just really fun and interactive. Even though we were all at home watching on our own, it felt like, you know, like Craig was there, and you know, everyone was like kind of like putting in their comments. So that was really fun. So who was, I think Jamie Cronander, he had a lot of fans on the broadcast. He was one of them. Looking at some of the other, and Jay, he was great. I mean, just looking at my list, it was just endless, and it was just like surprises of who's going to be on next. And yeah, it was just incredible. Let me see.
Well, while we're talking about Thomas, though, I got to say, Thomas, you and the ward were the most steely gaze into the camera. You had a few moments where I'm like, wow.
It's so funny. I had absolutely no idea I was doing
your soul right now, brother. I was like eye contact, like right there, right?
I got called out for the smolder so many times, and I had no idea I was doing it.
Yeah, like it was blue steel, like times a million. It was hot.
Dude, the striking Viking, man. The fucking striking Viking.
He's striking Viking, all right.
That's
sorry,
funny.
I had to say.
Great things. No, you had to. No, thanks for calling it out.
It was hot.
I mean, I thought we were gonna date a couple of times watching the video. I was like, shit, it's on.
He's like, are we going to first base right now? Are we going to first base?
Is this baby making music?
Drag the system and they never try to look serious. Come on now.
What's that? You're trying to look serious?
Some serious looks. Come on.
There's a time and a place for serious looks. This is nor the time nor the place.
That's definitely not my MO typically anyway, so.
It was cute. It was awesome.
It was cute.
Well, question for Thomas and Tony. Did anything end up leaving like that didn't get used? Did anything like not quite turn out exactly like you, like Snake and all of you were like kind of cutting room floor type stuff?
I'll tell you what, we had exactly one song that was cutting room floor material, and it was Mind Riot, believe it or not. And it's a really great story. So we had I think 3 or 4 days that we had recorded drums at the studio, and on the last day, I'd asked Randy if there was anything that he had wanted to do just so that we had a couple extra songs or whatever. And By Crooked Steps was one of them that he had said he wanted to try. And the other one he said he wanted to do was Mind Riot. We did By Crooked Steps, and he was totally not happy with it. But when Snake got it home, he was like, dude, it's we're totally good to make this thing work. But Mind Riot, he had, I guess his approach was just a little too soft or something like that. And we had tried to like play around with what we could do to salvage the song. And it ended up just not being something we could do with the drums. And we had become so attached to that song being part of the show because we had loved it from the year prior. We're like, what can we do? And we just came up with, we're bouncing ideas off, and like maybe we do a soft like a bluegrass version of it or something. And we just kept going back and forth about what we were going to do. And it was when we started talking to Jamie about bringing in some of his electronic vibe into the take. And man, it evolved into this crazy industrial version. And I'd almost say it's one of my favorite songs in the batch. It's just so cool and off the wall and totally nothing like the original. It was fantastic. But that song almost got left off, and it wasn't, if Jamie didn't bring in that Jamie-ness. That song got saved, man. It saved at the last minute.
The spooky Jamie witch
sleeve. It was the fishnet sleeve.
It was 100% the fishnet sleeve with the flannel, man. That's gonna be a look. I'm telling you,
dude. I need one